Sally?
How do you do, Sally?
I'm pretty good.
Introduce yourself to this chap here. This is your friend. So just remind him what your name is.
Hey, my name's Sally.
There you go.
This week we've got part 2 of our street hypnosis analysis freeze frame. Keep watching. Hi guys, this is part 2 of our street hypnosis breakdown, freeze framing and giving feedback step by step along the way. So I hope you enjoyed the last episode. This is part 2. I tried to get the second half of this chap into a second video, but I'm actually going to break it down to this video and one more. So it's going to be a 3-part series to this here. So do keep watching and give us your feedback. Make sure you give us the feedback in the comments section below. So this week we've finished off in the last part 1 episode of the induction, the deepener and the fractionization, and we're starting to move into giving some hypnotic skits for the street entertainment. So we start off with a foot stick to the floor, followed by some name amnesia, and then a James Bond secret agent skit. So watch how I connect these things together, watch how I link these things together. And one thing I didn't mention in the first episode, so I want to make sure I mention in this video, is that, you know, this is just one example. Every person is different. So what I've applied to this chap might not apply to other people. Listen carefully to what I'm doing. I'm always looking for feedback, looking for signals, looking for reactions from him, and tailoring the experience I give to him based on what I'm seeing from him. So that's very important. Just don't apply whatever you see in these videos and the advice I give in these videos just to everyone, but it's about learning the underlying techniques of what I'm looking for and how I'm applying them to others. So hope that makes sense. I'm going to show the video as last time. I'm going to show the video in full without any interruptions, without any freeze frames, so you understand what the skit and the set of skits is about. Then I'll come back to you for a quick follow-up, and then we'll go into the freeze frame process. I hope you like this format. Again, look forward to hearing from you in the comment section below. Here's the full video to start off with.
Way down deeper, 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 deeper relaxed. In the moment I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and the count of 3 this time, you're going to feel so comfortable in this feeling of hypnosis, so comfortable in this wonderful relaxing state, that it's going to feel like your feet are part of the floor. It's like your feet are cemented concrete, stuck, locked down onto that floor. You will not be able to move your feet. And the more you try and move those feet, just like you tried to separate those hands, those feet will be locked and stuck to the floor. Nod your head that you understand. Nod your head that you understand. That's right. Your feet are stuck to the floor, locked and stuck to the floor. 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. So you were saying?
Yeah, it does actually feel like...
Go ahead now, try. Really try. Really try.
Oh my god, it actually hurts to move.
Really try. Locked and stuck. Locked and stuck. Isn't that fun? It's fun. It's fun in a good way. Yes. Sleep now. Way down. Deeper, deeper, deeper relaxed. In a moment I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and the count of 3 you can open your eyes and be back with us. But just as your feet were stuck, your feet will release only as quickly now as your name becomes stuck at the back of your mind. Your feet will release and your name will stick to the back of your mind. You will not be able to say your name. Your name is gone now. And the more you try it, the more it sticks to the back of your mind. And even if you hear your name, you will not be able to say it. Even if you hear your name, you will not be able to say it. Nod your head that you understand. So 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. There you go. You move your feet now. It's back to normal, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I have a terrible head for names. Look at me. What's your name? Stuck to the back of your mind. Mama.
Mama.
Mama. Is that his name? Mama.
I'm getting there.
It's gone now. Really gone. Can't remember the first letter. Really gone now. What's your name in your transit? Even if you hear it, what's his name? And it's gone now. It's gone. Because you know what? Your name is now Sally. What's your name?
Sally?
How do you do, Sally?
I'm pretty good.
Introduce yourself to this chap here. This is your friend. So just remind him what your name is.
Hey, my name's Sally.
There you go. Now stand back here. And every time I click my fingers, your name changes to a different girl's name. What's your name?
Sakura.
Very nice name. That's a very original name. Every time. And what'd you say your name was?
What was it? Holly?
Holly. How do you do, Holly? There you go. Did you know his name was Holly? There you go. Isn't that really cool?
Yeah,
Look at me. Sleep now. Way down. Deeper, deeper, deeper relaxed. The deeper you go, the more relaxed you feel. In a moment, we're going to count from 1 to 3. On the count of 3, your name will no longer be Sally. Your name will be back to normal. Marcus. But just as quickly as your name comes back to you, you realise you are James Bond, that famous secret agent. Now you're trying to hide from a spy right now, so as soon as you wake up, you'll look for a plant nearby, and you'll just try and hide behind that plant. But as soon as I come over to you, you will not remember how you got behind that plant. Nod your head that you understand. You are James Bond, that secret spy, and you're going to try and hide behind a plant. But as soon as you get there and I come over to you, you cannot remember why you're standing next to a plant. So 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. Marcus, what are you doing down here? We were standing over there a second ago. How'd you get here? Come over.
I don't know. I don't know why I'm here. No, seriously, I don't.
You don't. Look at me and sleep. Once again, when you wake up, you'll feel like you're James Bond and you just want to go and hide behind a plant. 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. Marcus, how'd you get back over here? Do you remember coming here? Come on over here. That was a bit strange. We were just talking, and next thing you were over there. It was like magic, wasn't it?
I don't know.
That's it. Sleep now. Way down. Deeper, deeper, deeper relaxed. The deeper you go, the more relaxed you feel, the deeper you go. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. On the count of 3, you can open your eyes back with us. You will not feel like you're James Bond anymore. But I'm going to have a little chat with you.
Okay, did you enjoy that? Wasn't too long. Now for the slightly extended version of that, we're going to do the freeze frame stuff. Remember, with little Genie up there.
Back.
Okay, so he's going to explain everything as we move along. Remember, I want to find out what you think of this video. Do you think it's useful to have this sort of breakdown? Do you want a different format? Tell me in the comments section below. I do value your comments, as I'm proving today. This is in response to comments from other people in the YouTube channel and on Facebook, and other people have mentioned this as well. So make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below. If you like it, make sure you give it a thumbs up, make sure you give it a like, and don't forget, click the big red subscribe button, and don't forget to click the notification bell right next to that so you get notified the next time a new video comes out from Feel Good Hypnosis. Like I say, do give us your comments. And also, from time to time, people give me a thumbs down, and I don't know why. What did they not like? Did they not like my voice? Did they not like the camera work? Did they not like the audio? So if you even give me a thumbs down, add a little comment to say, what about changing this? Make it positive. So what about changing this because I wasn't too fond of that, and that. Explain what you mean. So it helps me improve my channel. It helps you come back and enjoy future movies. In the meantime, here we go. Are you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the freeze frame stuff begin.
Isn't it? Sleep now. Way down deeper, 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 deeper.
I've already talked about the induction. You've seen the induction, the deepener, and the fractionalization. But what am I doing there? I'm doing another deeper, deeper, deeper. This is another very simple deepener. Just to, again, reinforce that. Use every opportunity you have to make sure this guy is in as comfortable and as fun, relaxing state of hypnosis as you can. So fire in as many deepeners as you go along the way.
In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3.
So again, on the count of 3, that's the same as in a moment. Okay, it's setting up expectation. It may not be happening right now, but in a moment, it's going to happen. So it's setting up expectation and allowing him to the freedom, the bandwidth to really think about it in whatever way he needs to think about it for it to happen, for it to stick. And I say stick, but that's the suggestion, sticking. But in this case, we're about to stick his feet to the floor.
In the count of 3 this time, you're going to feel so comfortable in this feeling of hypnosis, so comfortable in this wonderful relaxing state, that it's going to feel like your feet are part of the floor. It's like your feet are cemented concrete, stuck, locked down onto that floor.
Again, layering of suggestions in various different ways. They're cemented, they're stuck, they're glued, they're locked down. All these things are different, but sort of mean one thing or the other inside their mind. So I hope that makes sense as well.
You will not be able to move your feet, and the more you try and move those feet, just like you tried to separate those hands, those feet will be locked and stuck to the floor.
See what I'm doing here? I'm saying try and move your feet. Now, this guy has his eyes closed, but look at my fist. Try and move your feet. I'm again, pantomiming. I'm putting this process of, really putting all my effort into feeling like his feet are stuck and telling him, go on, try. If you were watching a spectator trying to move a heavy object, you say, go on, try, push it, really give it a go. So I'm really giving all that energy that I have so that there's non-verbal as well as the verbal communications I'm giving to him. So, think of that when you're applying suggestions.
Nod your head that you understand. Nod your head that you understand, that's right.
Nod your head that you understand. You hear me ask that question and I don't see any visible nodding of the head. Now, it could be that he's so deep in hypnosis that he's not even listening to me. That is sometimes a concern, but it doesn't usually happen too much. But it's important that you do get the feedback at that early stage. So when I say nod your head that you understand and I don't see anything coming back from him, I repeat the question. Go ahead, nod your head that you understand. So again, don't move on from one stage to the next until you're happy that you've got that connection and that feedback loop from the person you're working with. Whether it's in therapy or whether it's in straight hypnosis, it's always the same. Sometimes people can be so relaxed, so comfortable that they're in a different world now and they're really enjoying themselves. So get that feedback before you move on.
Your feet are stuck to the floor, locked and stuck to the floor.
As soon as I get that nod, what do? I repeat the suggestion. Again, you also often hear in hypnosis what's called the rule of 21. That's the idea of just repeating suggestions as much as you can to really reaffirm those ideas, those thoughts inside their mind. So it doesn't hurt to just repeat that suggestion. So fire it in just before you do the 1, 2, 3 wide awake.
1, 2, 3, open your eyes. So you were saying?
Yeah, it does actually feel like...
Go ahead now, try. Really try. Really try.
Oh my God, it actually hurts to move.
Again, wonderful green flags here that when he wakes up and he goes, oh wow, it really does feel like my feet are stuck. Okay, that's music to my ears because it tells me that he's not just hearing the suggestions and feeling the suggestions, but he's actually reaffirming the suggestions inside his own mind.
Really try. Locked and stuck. Locked and stuck.
Notice what I do there. I repeat the suggestion and click my fingers to just, again, anchor the suggestion to clicking the fingers so that should I click my fingers in the future, I don't have to say the suggestion more explicitly, but the unconscious mind is very good at picking up these things, even if you at a conscious level aren't noticing these things in the video. So keep that in mind.
Isn't that fun? It's fun. It's fun in a good way. Yes. Sleep now. Way down. Deeper.
Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? Again, I'm reinforcing because there's some elements of, it really hurts, but, I think that's just his terminology now. I'm getting used to what he's describing, the way he's describing it, and he's laughing, he's giggling, so there's no congruency in terms of, it's stuck, it's really killing me. He's not giving that suggestion to me or impression to me, so I'm sort of happy to move on that that's just his way of describing the world. I hope that makes sense.
Deeper, deeper relaxed. In a moment I'm going to count from 1 to 3. In the count of 3 you can open your eyes and be back with us. But just as your feet were stuck, your feet will release only as quickly now.
Listen to what I'm about to say. Your feet will become unstuck only as quickly. What I'm doing is linking the previous suggestion, the fact that I know his feet felt very heavy, that felt like they were stuck to the floor. So I know that worked, so I'm linking something that works to something that's about to work. Okay?
As your name becomes stuck at the back of your mind,
so now I'm saying your name will disappear only as quickly as your feet become unstuck. That whole linking process. Now you might see me tapping at the back of his neck. Is that important? It's not important. It's like clicking the fingers, as I mentioned earlier. you can do it or you can not do it. It's up to personal preference. I'm sort of saying that your name's stuck to the back of your mind, and I'm suggesting it's way back down the bottom of your neck. That's where it's sticking. It's a sensory suggestion, and I'm not saying that he will pick up on it like I'm, implying it, but that's why I do the tapping in the back of the neck. It's not irritating in hypnosis. A lot of things like that there, like tapping or rocking or shaking the hand, as I did earlier, will not disturb him, but will help him sort of feel relaxed in that feeling of hypnosis.
Feet will release, and your name will stick to the back of your mind. You will not be able to say your name. Your name is gone now. And the more you try it, the more it sticks to the back of your mind.
Did you notice that? His eyes are closed, his head is pointed down. But what am I doing there? As I'm giving out those suggestions, I'm saying your name is gone. I'm throwing it away. He's not seeing it, but me thinking it and feeling it and saying your name is gone, throwing it out of my mind, throwing it out of view, like you would throw a ball away and the ball's gone. All this intention is, again, like that pantomiming I spoke about before. It's about wholeheartedly feeling in your mind and yourself as a hypnotist that you're getting rid of it, and you're conveying that with every nuance of your body language and your tonality. So again, even though their eyes are closed, they sense these things. The people sense these things, and you want to just put your whole heart into really conveying that message to them, that name is gone.
And even if you hear your name, you will not be able to say it.
And again, another little suggestion in there, even if you hear your name, because I don't know, I know one of his friends that he was standing with when we first said, would you like to be hypnotized, is standing there. So he might say, hey Marcus, what's up? Why's your name gone? So I'm giving that, I'm preempting that worry that if he hears his name, he still won't be able to say it.
Even if you hear your name, you will not be able to say it. Nod your head that you understand. So 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. There you go. You move your feet now. It's back to normal, isn't it?
Now, I told him his feet would become unstuck, and I don't know how fast that suggestion is going to happen. So I'm helping that suggestion along by saying, oh, you can move your feet now, can't you? Okay? That's not just a question. That's a command. That's a suggestion to him that you can move your feet now. And remember, I've told him his feet will become unstuck only as quickly as his name disappears. So by making his feet become unstuck, again, giving another suggestion that says, well, that means your name's now gone.
I have a terrible head for names. Look at me. What's your name? Stuck to the back of your mind.
Again, what's happened here? He's trying to say his name and he can't. So I latch onto that. I say, look at me, because again, people can eye access and try and access their name inside their mind. So by saying something like, look at me, I'm preventing that eye accessing cue to try and get your name back. In addition, as soon as he's saying, ma, and he's struggling, I say, what's your name? I'm putting him under pressure to say his name, which reinforces the idea that he can't.
Mama. Is that his name?
Yeah. I'm getting there.
It's gone now. Really gone. Can't remember the first letter. Really gone now. What's your name when you try and say it?
What does try mean? Try implies failure. So what's your name when you try and say it? And I'm squinting. This is what James Tripp would call the pantomiming process of really putting your heart and soul into what's your name when you try and say it. I'm looking confused, like I don't know your name and you don't know your name. What is your name? So I'm really, putting all my efforts into every path of communications between myself and himself.
Even if you hear it, what's his name? Marcus. And it's gone now.
What's his name? And the chap says it, Marcus, his chap off camera, his friend. And as soon as he says Marcus, I say, and it's gone now. Again, I just want to make sure he doesn't bring it back. So I'm layering in that suggestion. Well, it's gone. What's it when you try and say it?
It's gone. Because you know what? Your name is now Sally.
I now say, what? Your name is Sally. And I tap him on the forehead. Is the tapping important? No, but it's a bit like the tapping on the palms of the hands. It's nice to do, and I think it gives that sensory feeling of something has happened inside his head. I've said Sally and put that name inside his head. It's almost like I've dropped it in there by touching him. So again, that doesn't hurt as well to touch now and then in an appropriate way, obviously.
What's your name?
Sally?
How do you do, Sally?
I'm pretty good.
Introduce yourself to this chap here. This is your friend. So just remind him what your name is.
Hey, my name's Sally.
And look at his response. Look at his response. Sally? You know? So at some level, he knows it's not right, but it's the first name that comes to mind. It feels natural to say it, and he's saying it.
There you go. Now stand back here, and every time I click my fingers, your name changes to a different girl's name.
His eyes are open. I haven't dropped into that deeper state of, eyes closed, head dropped down to chest, state of hypnosis. I'm now saying that every time I click my fingers, your name will change to a different girl's name. We don't need eye closure to implant a suggestion. And as you've seen throughout this, there's many sort of less than obvious suggestions that I've been implanting and making all the way through the process. And this one is with eyes open. I'm adding a new suggestion. Every time I click my fingers, the name will change.
What's your name?
Sakura.
Very nice name. That's a very original name. Every time. And what'd you say your name was?
What was it? Holly?
Holly. How do you do, Holly? There you go. Did you know his name was Holly?
I turned to his friend and said, did you know his name was Holly? And it doesn't matter whether the friend nods or shakes his head, I can't remember, and the camera wasn't on his friend at that point. You can see I have a couple of camera angles there, but they're all pointed at the gentleman. But the point is, in asking that question, once again, that's a presupposition that his name is Holly. And did you know his name was Holly? And again, look at the confusion in him, but something tells him his name is Holly.
There you go. Isn't that really cool?
Yeah,
Look at me. Sleep now. Way down.
And sleep now again. I'm putting him back into that fractionalization process of dropping him back into that deeper hypnosis. Every time you close your eyes, your head drops down to your chest, you'll go 10 times deeper. So that's bringing him back into that deeper level of hypnosis.
Deeper relaxed. The deeper you go, the more relaxed you feel. Anyone will count from 1 to 3, on the count of 3, your name will no longer be Sally.
There's choices here. I tend to take one suggestion away and put a new suggestion in. Sometimes I will leave some, what they call a running gag, that throughout the whole process, the whole time, there will be a trigger word and that suggestion will reappear. But for this one here, as I did, your feet become unstuck only as quickly as your name disappears. Now I'm saying your name will disappear. Okay, so I'm removing that old suggestion before I move on to the next one.
Your name will be back to normal. Marcus. But just as quickly as your name comes back to you, you realise you are James Bond, that famous secret agent.
Just as quickly as your name comes back to you. What am I doing? I've already done it before. I'm linking the previous, suggestion or the removal of the previous suggestion to transition to the next suggestion that you are a famous secret agent. And again, most people hopefully these days knows who James Bond is, so they're familiar with that idea of someone, a secret agent sneaking around.
Now you're trying to hide from a spy right now, so as soon as you wake up, you'll look for a plant nearby, and you'll just try and hide behind that plant. But as soon as I come over to you, you will not remember how you got behind that plant.
So I'm layering a few fun suggestions here. Number one, that he's a secret agent, he's James Bond, and as soon as he wakes up and he sees a plant, he's going to hide behind it. But number two, I'm going to give him a sense of amnesia. So as soon as he gets there, how it happened, how he got there, seems to disappear from his conscious awareness.
Nod your head that you understand.
Interesting point there, because I noticed him nodding his head. I didn't even say nod your head that you understand, because already now he's, complying with all the previous suggestions. Every time I make a suggestion, I was saying nod your head that you understand. I think at the very first time I asked it, he didn't nod his head, and I had to repeat the question, nod your head that you understand. I want to make sure that he understands the question, the suggestion, before I move on and wake him up. By now, he's just nodding his head. I get what you mean. So, we're moving along beautifully. And because the other suggestions have worked, I have more confidence that anything else I make a suggestion for will, work as well. Before we move on, another little street hypnosis technique there is that the fact that, as you can see here, I've got picture in picture. I had 2 cameras running at the time, and that again gives a sense of, this is something real that's happening at the event. So this was at Queen's University QCon event, and it's nice and efficient to see one or two people walking around. I think you might have seen an earlier clip with the other camera, the camera's now the main view. You saw that we're all walking around in similar uniform, hypnotist written on the back, just to make it aware as to what's going on and it's not something dodgy that's happening, you know, in the middle of the street.
Are James Bond that secret spy and you're going to try and hide behind a plant, but as soon as you get there and I come over to you, you cannot remember why you're standing next to a plant. So 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. Marcus, what are you doing down here? We were standing over there a second ago. How'd you get here? Come over.
And suggestion beautifully accepted. Both you're James Bond, you're going to hide somewhere, but number two, you can't remember why the heck he did it once it's been done. He's actually really confused about, how did I get over there? I remember being here. So again, it's a nice visual thing for people watching, and it's a great experience for him as well.
I don't know. I don't know why I'm here. No, seriously, I don't.
You don't. Look at me and sleep. Once again, when you wake up, you'll feel like you're James Bond.
Bit of fractionalization just to deepen that process, and also it was good fun. It was quite quick, so we're going to do it again because he was a great subject for that one.
You just want to go and hide behind a plant. 1, 2, 3, open your eyes.
Another little tip about skits here. Now, as you can see in this one, it's a nice visual one. You're getting the subject, the volunteer, to move around the room and really interact with the room. In this case, he's finding the plant and hiding down behind the plant. So this is a nice one to do, and it's another reason why I repeat this skit, because it's nice and visual, and people get to look around and really get entertained by it. Skits like you can't remember your name. You know, if the audience members, because of the noisy environment, and we're in a corridor where people are walking up and down, there's a lot of noise. In a noisy environment, people don't always hear the suggestions, so they're sort of sitting there going, "What did the hypnotist say to my friend?" They can't hear it, so they can't join in and connect as much with the skit and enjoy the skit just as much. So something like this here, something where you get the people to move around or really gesture or whatever. You'll see some coming up in next week's videos as well with this chap. But getting people to really be visual is a great bonus. So when you're planning out your skits and thinking about skits you'd like to use with people, think about those that really, you know, get people moving around. That's just a little street hypnosis tip.
Marcus, how'd you get back over here? Do you remember coming here? Come on over.
If something's working, reaffirm it in his mind. Do you remember coming over here? I know he doesn't, but I just want to reaffirm that inside his mind. Again, it's very entertaining when you see it happening, and, you know, it's a good experience for him.
Here, come on here. That was a bit strange. We were just talking, and next night you were over there. It was like magic, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
That's it. Sleep now. Way down. Deeper, deeper, deeper. Relax. The deeper you go, the more actually feel the deeper you go. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. On the count of 3, you can open your eyes back with us. You will not feel like you're James Bond anymore.
So once again, I'm taking that old suggestion off that he's James Bond as I put the next suggestion on him. And again, look at what I'm doing. I've got my hand on his shoulder to make sure that if I'm looking around and watching the crowds as people move past, that I know exactly where he is. The hand was not on him when he was moving towards the plant, but his eyes were open, and we had other people, you know, watching out for him as well, the other camera people. So I was happy that he moves in that scenario, in that situation. But now he's got his eyes closed again. Now that he's more relaxed in that stand-up, legs and back supporting him position, I want to make sure that I have my hand on his shoulder and I know where he's at.
Well, I'm going to have a little chat with you, and then we'll just have some more fun. So 1, 2, 3, open your eyes.
So So that's us for part 2 of this 3-part series. Hope you enjoyed that now just as much. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you give it a like. Don't forget to click the big red subscribe button, as I said in the middle there. So look forward to giving you and presenting to you the 3rd and final installment of this chap, and enjoy. See you soon.